Every September, Apple gets together to tell you about their new iPhone. By now, it's a foregone conclusion this event will occur, the iPhone will drop, everyone will buy it. The question is always, a month later, are they going to have an October event? What are they going to talk about that October event? And what's going to be coming out? What do we care about? Well, I'm talking about the Apple October event right now. This is the event preview on BatteryPowered. My name is Chris. Oh, and they haven't announced it yet, which is, in my view, a minor technicality because we already know what's coming. But first, I'm going to tell you what isn't coming. AR glasses. You're not going to see them. They're not ready for prime time. This is the last quarter of the year. Apple needs to make money. They're not going to tell you about crap that... They're not going to spend time talking to you about things that you cannot give them money for this year. That's the recipe. That's the simple part of it. So, also along with that, the iPad Pro. You're not going to see one of those. I do not... It is dumb. They could get all the people that want to do the easy upgrades, the manual, the auto upgraders, whatever they want to call them. They could loop all those people in, but there's not enough time from last year to this year to really truly innovate the iPad in a way that is meaningful, at least in my opinion. So I think that you'll see the new iPad in probably March of next year. I'm sorry you're not going to get to see it this year, but be glad, because when you see it next year, I believe that Apple will be starting a new trend with their iPads. They're going to do a springtime release, and it's going to have the new processor that they'll actually put a lower performance version of in the iPhone later, or something like that. I think we're going to see new tech hitting the iPads, and then later on in the iPhones, and I don't think it's going to be like, they're trying to get away from it being an afterthought. I guess that's what I'm saying. If you look in the past, they always came out with the iPhone with new processor, and then the iPad would come out, some period of time later with the X version of that, or the Fusion, or whatever the heck it was. We're not doing that anymore. Okay, cool. What are we going to see? The reason you're watching this. All right. Mac Pro. Pretty sure it's go time. I don't know they're going to give it a lot of airtime, but we're at least for sure going to get pricing and availability. You're going to know when it's going to drop. I suspect, originally I was going to say December, November, but I think Apple needs to get it out to the masses sooner. You need to be able to get together at that Thanksgiving dinner and be talking to Grandma about it so that she's got time to warm up Grandpa to kick that wallet your way. So Mac Pro, cool, win, good, go. AirPods. We've seen the sporty AirPods called Beats Pro. We've seen the regular AirPods get a reincarnation earlier this year, being March of 2019. They've got two sort of polar opposites there. I think next up is the One for All, which is going to, and there's a lot of rumors, like Mark Gurman, Bloomberg, some of those folks have talked about a noise canceling version of the AirPods. I don't know that Apple's ready to do that yet, because that's a lot of battery, and if they can fit this thing in your ear, that's a challenge. I do think that you're going to see isolating AirPods, something with more of a bud approach. Yeah, not April 20th approach, but the earbud approach that actually sticks in your ear. So it will hold itself in your ear. It'll isolate better than the current ones do, and maybe not as good as the Beats Pro or something like that. But I believe Apple's the thing that they're going to do in here, they've focused a lot on hearing and hearing protection. I think you're going to see Apple do something where you can hear sounds around you unless you're playing music or on a phone call, and then it kind of cuts that stuff out. So with that, there will probably be some noise cancellation, but I don't think Apple's just going to market them as noise canceling AirPods. It's going to be more than that. There's more to it with lifestyle or some other kicker in there for you. So I think we're going to see those. Okay. I also believe that we will see a HomePod, possibly a HomePod Mini. A couple different reasons for this, but number one, the HomePod's been knocked down in price a few times. I think to improve adoption. Some places are sold out of the HomePod currently, and I think we see Amazon killing it with all these little mini Alexas and all this other stuff coming out. I'm sorry, mini Echo Dots. Gosh, I hate this. It's like calling the watch an iWatch. But they have a whole market of these little $30, $40 devices. I don't think Apple's going to dip that low, but I think you're going to see a HomePod Mini that probably starts around $100. It'll be a Wi-Fi speaker. I don't know that it'll be portable or not, but this is me totally going out on a limb with the HomePod. I mean, then maybe they just keep the same thing around and make it cheaper, but it seems like they've already done that. So they've got to have either new and expensive, but I feel like the better piece of market to get money, especially now this time of year, you've had those people buying the cheaper HomePods. Now you want to get the cheaper little HomePod Mini or whatever you want to call it coming out. Or maybe it's the HomePod Air. Who knows, right? Next up, Apple Tracker. So Tile just dropped a bunch of new gear, and it's kind of interesting. I do not have any yet to test. I'm really curious to see if it's any better or worse with the new chipset, the new wideband Bluetooth chipset on the iPhone 11 Pros. But Tile has some new stickers. I'm real interested to see what Apple does and how they do it. I believe that they will have a tracker product. I believe it will be for sale. I believe it is already integrated into their new line of products. That's the thing that, they really, with Find My coming out on iOS 13, it's clear they're planting the seeds for that foundation. For me, the tracker thing is either now or it's a year from now. We're going to see it either next September it comes out, or we're going to get it right now before the holiday season. I don't know a lot more about it other than that. I'm my speculational mind, but it would make sense to me that it works with everything you've already got. And then there's also some, solid adhesive type of minute, trivial device that would, yeah, right. Like a Tile sticker, right, Chris? Yeah. Anyways. So tracker I'm hit or miss on. I do feel like we're ready for it, but I also feel like that could have just been a premature leak by everybody, and really they're doing that all next year once they've got more devices in the field that have the native tracking stuff built in. But once again, that's all going to tie into the Find My offline ecosystem that we've seen for a while. When your iPhone 6S can be found when it's shut off, yeah, they're going to do something major in the new devices to make that last longer, have better range, etc. So it makes sense to put that in a sticker. Moving on. What is the big news this year? It is going to be the MacBook Pro. I feel like we're going to see a two-tier approach on this one. First tier is going to be now. They're going to, even though they just refreshed things in May of 19 with a new keyboard and some other stuff, and there's talks of them moving to micro LED displays and making all sorts of changes, I feel like the time is right now that we're going to see Apple keep the same clamshell, the same shape, the same size, the same ports. They're just going to give us an extra inch or so on that display. So you're going to see a 16 and a 14. I think you're going to see both of the ranges of the Pro get that enhancement. At least that's what I think. And then I also going along with that one, I think you will see that happen, as well as not next spring, but possibly next fall, you will see a new MacBook Pro or the Pros Pro come out, because everyone will have their money cash reserves built up after buying the Mac Pro. So now they can go buy that nice space black MacBook Pro, whatever the heck they're going to call it. I mean, I don't think they're really going to call it the Pro, just so you know. Oh, God, there I go. Rhyming. I have no flow. All right, anyways. Sorry. So the MacBook Pro, that was really an irritating accidental rhyming thing I just did there, and I apologize for it, and I'm trying not to laugh at myself. The MacBook Pro, I think, this year you're going to get, so a lot of the same stuff, but I think you're going to get larger display. I don't think you're going to see a new display tech. They might drop some of the new Lake processors or whatever, the latest and greatest are, but I feel like since we just had a pretty major refresh a minor refresh in May, I think that was designed as like a stopgap, a preventative sort of issue to prevent more keyboard claims until they could get this new stuff released and in the wild. So I feel like you're going to see a minor trivial price bump just to keep the heater on as they grow and expand things, but I feel like the real bump will come next year when they do the same size with some wild new technology. Again, my confidence in this one wanes because we haven't seen any leaks of anything related to MacBook Pro, but if you look at the timeline of what they've done in the past, it's not beneath Apple to drop something and then 3 months later they come out with the new one. You can go look at the 2015 MacBook cycles if you're confused by what I'm talking about, because then they dropped the new in 2016 right after refreshing it in late 2015. Granted, that was a little bit of a longer time frame from May to October, but whatever. Until next time, that's all I got for today. My name is Chris. You've been watching Battery Powered. Be well, folks.